and gentlemen, welcome back to the Midwest F1 League. I am your co-host Stat with my partner here Crash, and we are here at the Netherlands Grand Prix, the Dutch Grand Prix.
As Helg and then Enrique go third and fourth, Helg being on, and Cam, there we go. Cam is the first into the nines, taking pole, as now a Mercedes is sandwiched by the two Renaults, with Helg bringing up in fourth and Enrique in fifth.
And that is now the fastest qualifying time as well for the Midwest F1 League, as Bloxham's was a 10.2, beating that by half a second.
And Random Sears also beat that, going into the nines as well, finding himself in a second.
So we've definitely seen the improvement by some of the drivers here. So as we find now majority of our grid have set times, it's interesting to see that 4 drivers have opted to make that time on the mediums. Which obviously means they have some sort of strategic mind about their qualifying and what tyre they want to begin their race on.
As JC takes over the fastest lap now.
The 9.72. As It's Heavy goes 7th fastest.
That's pretty good for him.
Yeah. Oh, I think someone's in the wall. That's Monkey Mafia. At the end of, Sector 1 heading into Sector 2. He's lost it into the wall there, missing his front wing now.
Now, one of the questions for the week here was which driver is viewed the most unluckiest in the league, and a lot of people brought up the name of Cam, as he is well known to be one of the better drivers on the grid, but unfortunately, if I bring up the Drivers' Championship here, he's all the way down in 5th, which is, I mean, it's top 5, so you can't complain there. As Barry goes purple through Sector 2 as well. He finds himself down in 5th place with 1 win, and a lot of people say that he is a guy who should be winning a lot more than what he is. As Barry will come over the line, and does improve on his lap, but not enough to really make some damage up that grid there. Can Cam improve onto his time here? No, I'm just going to say it. Kenny's still in 6th places. There we go. Cam goes fastest now. Now switching him and JC, as they flop 1-2, and Cam finds himself on the provisional pole here with just under 6 minutes left to go. But those Alfa Romeos, they're a team that everyone kind of wants to be like, because they're the only team this year that have finished every race. As Enrique goes a little faster and will find himself jumping up from position to 10th.
Brian Mosser set the fastest Sector 2 as he comes through, and he's on pole.
As Brian Mosser takes pole position.
Or they might simply just not want to.
Now Helg's going to be starting in the top 10 there on mediums. I'm on with Cam. He goes purple through Sector 1.
Battery 40%.
Flying right now. Seems that Mahi is out of the pits now, though.
Fastest Sector 2, he's 0.4 seconds down from his best time.
He's flying right now. He might be able to go into the 108s. I don't think there's enough room on this last sector to really make up that time, but he might have a chance.
Around the final bend. This is his best shot. As he takes pole.
As he crushes pole. Seems that JC is pushing, though. If Mahi just sets a time, he's going to find himself qualifying in 18th, so it's worth him to finish up this lap. As JC goes purple through Sector 2.
Could we see a final pinch?
Can
Comes
Jason
around
find
the
himself
final
up on
bend.
the top step? Crossing the line. He does improve
as
his
he
time, but
stays
not
third.
enough. Now we got about 30 seconds here. What's your prediction?
He's been late on that one, but Jason so Grand Prix and lights are out. Brian gets a good start. So does Cam at the front. I think Cam's going to lead this into turn one. Brian's down his inside. JC tries to go around the outside of Kenny. As we're heading down, Cam leads from Brian, from Barry, from Sirius, from Kenny. Safety car first lap. So Bloxham at the back has really bad wing damage. Tim Lee seems to be okay. Artemis is fine. K-Dog looks alright. I think Mahi has some damage though. No, Mahi doesn't seem to have damage.
Enrique's got a little bit of
does
damage.
Have damage. Racing Ginger has damage. Enrique has damage. Helga's no damage.
We're truly going to know with all these drivers
see
opting for the pit here. As with the race, with the safety car, it is the time to pit. No doubt about it.
So we have a Williams and we have the Williams of It's Heavy come in, as well as Nikki. One of the Haas comes in. That's the Haas of Noganator. That's Enrique coming in. That's Racing Ginger. That's Clog.
Mahi.
That's Mahi, and that's also Bloxham coming in.
Wow.
So at the start of this race, we're already seeing Tim Lee has made up 8 places.
And Pork Chops has found himself up quite a bit. I guess as well with Monkey Mafia and Helg. A lot of these drivers have jumped up. It seemed to be the middle pack that really kind of got caught up in there. But
K-Dog making up some positions early as well.
That safety car threw me off again, man. I'm not gonna lie. As soon as that accident happened, the safety car popped out from the pits, and I thought it was a Renault. I was like, no,
we're getting caught out by that way too easy.
Oh god, it gets us way too easy. I just was like, oh my god, not another Renault, come on. And then, of course, there's a safety car, and the Renaults find themselves currently 1 and 3. 5 spots, Artemis with 5 spots, and Tim Lee 20. Now he does let it loose. As Enrique seemed to have dropped a couple spots off the hop. Artemis goes wide.
Sirius really on the tail. Oh, there's a bit of a kerfuffle at the back of the grid. Maybe someone didn't go when they were supposed to.
Yeah, K-Dog seems to be going to the pit now. I think she I think she collided with someone.
Bit of Magello in that.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's up with that?
As Brian is right on the back of Cam, heading out of Sector 1.
We got a crash between Clog and Bloxham in Sector 1. Yes, exactly that. Noganator and Nikki were kind of jumping back and forth there. This Archness seems to have made up a spot. Oh, It's Heavy goes off. Tim Lee finds himself on the outside.
Nikki and JC have caught each other up in turn 1. As Brian Mosser picks up a 5-second penalty for severe collision with Kenny. As Brian sees himself down in 5th.
Sorry, quickly, Nikki and It's Heavy touch, and It's Heavy gets turned right into the pit exit there. As Tim Lee gets a little bit of lockup here, as Noganator finds himself right on his back.
Bloxham picks up a 5-second for speeding in the pit lane. So we currently have the 2 Renaults sitting 1st and 2nd.
There's a nice little battle here for 12th that I'm on board with as Tim Lee locks up, and Noganator takes a look to the inside but doesn't want to shoot the gap as Tim Lee's getting a little bit loose here. His Noganator will get DRS in him and did get the better traction going out. Or there's no DRS quite yet, but Noganator does find himself moving up a position.
Great battle here for second as Random Series takes the inside on C. Barry, but does not make it stick. Or even six, because Monkey Mafia's there. Oh, as C... Oh, wait.
Sirius is going to take him over.
C. Barry and Random Series both looked like they were going into the pit lane as Sirius goes around the outside of C. Barry to take second. Bit of Albon about that, around the outside on a Renault.
And then Hell cleanly overtook his teammate in Porkchops as Porkchops let him go by. Very good teammates, those two, so you won't expect them to truly battle that position out. If one shows the pace, the other one will let go. He just overtook Nicky for 9th place, but unfortunately now Nicky will get the DRS going into that mini DRS
Battery
section
40%.
Sector 2 into Sector 3 there.
His Racing Ginger has retired. He's out of the race. As there is another safety car here.
So he finds himself...
He's crashed out right at the end of Sector 1. In that fast section. So that will absolutely destroy Cam's lead here. As K-Dog and I believe it was one of the... What was it? I think... I didn't see who the second person was, but I know...
I think it was Artemis.
Artemis and K-Dog speeding under safety car, so they will both receive drive-through penalties. As Sirius and Barry both come into the pits, as Cam is already in the pits.
The Renaults are going to double stack here. It looks like they're going to be clean, yeah. As Cam, C. Barry's like going on to the hards, as is Cam, as does
Random Sirius.
Helga opts to stay out. Mosser also opts for the hards.
So Cam will still lead this race.
That's huge. And now the McLarens find themselves on 2 and 3. Oh.
As Cam now goes.
Yeah, he will open up a good little gap. He's already got a second on Helg, as Helg unfortunately did not catch the timing there.
As C. Barry's also made
a it looks like Noganator went off.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, yeah, Noganator did go off.
Luckily, he is at the start of the straight, so he's able to go into the pit lane.
Quite unfortunate.
Random
for the
Series
Ferraris.
right on the tail of Porkchops heading down this straight.
He gets
he's
a
sitting
awesome
right on his
lunge
tailpipe as he he fakes the inside, goes around the outside. Can he make it stick on Porkchops? Oh, he runs wide. He's on the gravel. He gets back on, but that's gonna make Monkey Mafia come after him. He's gonna lose some time as he locks up into turn 4. C. Barry also right on the tail of Monkey Mafia, with Brian Mosser sitting right behind them. As I think Tim Lee has just spun out.
Yes, he did, unfortunately. It's Kenny and Mahi are wheel to wheel here. Going to the final turn. Seems Kenny has gotten the better of him. We're on with Random Series. He takes a look to the inside, but doesn't seem to be enough room. Porkchops did give him the gap, but decided to opt out of it. This Random Series is going to really need to dispatch Porkchops soon here if he's going to want to have any chance of catching up to Helg, as now that gap between him and Helg is nearly 3.5 seconds now.
We do have a yellow flag that seems to be the Ferrari of Loxham.
I think Barry's gonna have a shot to go around the outside here as he brakes later.
He does. He goes right around the outside. That's a great move by C.
And
Barry
Random
there.
Series and Porkchops right ahead of him, as Porkchops will get the inside, but Random Series doesn't give away and will take the inside now for this turn 4, as Porkchops and him are wheel to wheel currently. As Random Series seems to have the better traction and will take over second place in this race. As all that happened, Helg did pit. Porkchops held him off for as long as he could, but unfortunately, now with those medium tires starting to wear down a little bit, Random Series did have the better traction there.
So the gap between Random Series and Cam at the moment is 9 seconds.
Racing Ginger gets overtaken by both Brian Mosser and Kenny, as those 15 old lap tires are starting to really dwindle on him. Kenny is really getting on the tail of Brian Mosser here. Brian Mosser seems to have dispatched as he loses his breaking point by a mile and goes straight through, as now he gets re-overtaken by Monkey Mafia. Ooh.
Brian Mosser with a time penalty.
As the Midwest F1 League seems to have found Mosser's kryptonite in Zandvoort. As I say that, he gets fastest lap. What timing, eh?
Yeah, definitely his worst track, yeah.
Oh,
as he sets fastest lap.
Oh, jeez. I just absolutely chopped on my tongue there. That's funny stuff.
I know there's such thing as the commentator's curse, but that was too quick.
Oh, I know. That was unbelievably fast. I thought I was going to commentator's curse today by saying that the Renaults were going to have a good finish. Enrique finds himself into the pits, and now Mosser goes into 6th place, along with other drivers moving up the table here. Clogmonger went off there in the final section of 14 and 15.
Oh no, he collided into Barry.
He got
and
buried.
They're both out.
Monkey Mafia does show Mahi the inside line. Now Mahi will get DRS and does have the pace to overtake Mahi, or to overtake Monkey, sorry, here for 8th place now. But Mahi does have 5 seconds worth of penalties, and I don't have anything for Monkey Mafia right now, so Mahi's going to really have to open up the gap and also deal with a teammate of Mahi, of Enrique, in 10th place to hold them off, both of them. As I say that, oh, nice little switchback from Monkey Mafia, but he doesn't end up taking the dive into turn 4, and the secondary switchback won't work again. JC is a man who just shows consistent race pace. Now Mahi is caught right up to Pork Chops now for 7th place as well. This Pork Chops is going to have a little bit of work to do. Unfortunately, Mahi loses some traction there coming out of the turn. He's 1.4 seconds, he said? Yeah, he gets 1.3. He's really moving. As Mahi gets right into the back of Pork Chops and finds himself going off and spinning out. Unfortunately, he's going to have to straighten himself out a little bit, and he's going to drop down the order. As Mahi with 5 seconds worth of penalties. Now he's got Nicky right on his back. Unfortunately, that'll drop him back into 11th place.
As Kenny picks up another 3 seconds, yeah.
That's all she wrote.
He only needed 0.8 off JC, or 0.7 now, but...
Well, let's just pretend that he didn't do it for a second, just so we can bring a little bit of excitement to this.
He's still...
He's getting really close.
0.3. He's getting 0.3.
As
0.2.
As Cam comes over the line for the win. Can he keep it into 3rd place? He's doing it, dude. Holy, he's moving. It's at 8.
Yeah.
And Nick drops underneath. JC's right back. As JC really needs to move in these past corner, but yeah, I know, all said and done. JC comes home in 3rd place. No, he doesn't.
Actually,
JC must have picked up a penalty somewhere.
No, he doesn't. Oh no, Kenny has done it.
Kenny did.
He did it.
So JC was the one who needed to make up all the time. What do we know, hey?
Cam coming home in 1st place, followed by Random Series in 2nd, Kenny 3rd, JC in 4th, Brian in 5th, Helgen 6th, followed by Pork in 7th, Monkey Mafia in 8th, great result for him, 9th and 10th for the Alfa Romeos with Enrique and Mahi, with Mahi picking up hardest charger for the day with 9 places gained. Kenny, also picked up the fastest lap of the race, so he will also get bonus points. Yeah, well obviously, very fun race today. I think great spectacle all race. So.
I mean, I'm sure but for those that aren't, sucks. But you can't do it on the race start. He got. Getting an overtake on Tiger NASCAR and Twitch chat for that. Everyone watching back after this race is going to be extremely annoyed. But hey, not on me. Jacko's already picked up 8 positions. Dace is down 16th. I'm laughing at the people that are going to tune into this after. Scornsy already putting the pressure on Ryan Rods here for 3rd place. JCast getting an overtake on Tiger NASCAR. And Scornsy looking very fierce on the back of Ryan Rods and using the ERS early to try and get around Ryan Rods. And he's up the inside line here. Gets the move done and up into 3rd place he goes. Gets that position back, and he's trying to work his way back into the top 2 now. Aero Racing now right on the back of Edgar. And Aero Racing is looking fairly fierce here and takes a peek, but can't quite get it done there. I don't think he was really thinking too much about it. And oh, Texas Speech is faced the wrong way. Got to get on board there, and he actually gets...
Alrighty, we're just trying to get all set up here. Try and race in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Literally.
Hello, idiots.
And I have to rethink our relationship.
Another invite for Reimer. Okay.
Hey, Nikki, that
Yes.
list I think is pretty out of date. This Williams is definitely more ass than that V carb. It's too late to do anything about it, but just
Well, I guess we're doing.
we're fucking stuck with it, man.
We're-
But I'm just letting you know.
shit at a wall.
It's not all skill issue. I mean, it's a lot skill issue, but
Okay. Well, you know, it's all scuffed.
You
Where the fuck are all these people, man?
I'll be
But, you
doing
know,
the
if, like-
lobby soon.
If like Lansy doesn't show up or something, I'll take that B car back if that's cool.
No.
Oh.
Fuck!
There goes that.
Dude, that was fucking nice.
Well, shit.
What about
Oh,
Bro,
perfect
bro just
timing.
appeared.
I
Appeared out of
know
thin
what
air.
thinking right now, man.
He could fucking tell that the thought was going through my synapses before it was vocalized. Oh, it's really funny. It's Jober.
It's
You're not in
Jover.
Merc anymore then?
What?
You're in whatever car I listed you in.
You're in the V carb, and it's actually
Oh.
pretty decent, so you'll be
Did
fine.
it change?
My
Yes,
fucking
it changed.
cat
Everything's
escaped into the goddamn
everything's
garage.
fucked. Dace and Race Day are probably gonna be fast because I think Haas is gonna be better than Sauber, but
Yeah, Days is like 31 threes.
well,
Oh, yeah.
if I had
Those guys,
up-to-date
it doesn't
information-
even matter, to be honest.
It is what it is. It's just a fun, scuffed ass thing, right?
I didn't say I could do a 31-3 consistently, but there was one in a midst.
Okay, well, you
of
got
the
into
time.
the 31, so I don't want to hear it.
I was trying to get
It's
into the 30s,
bad.
but I don't have the patience.
You
You guys going with higher wing?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Mickey,
That
can you send me an
Williams-
invite, dude?
Yeah, you want another one?
Ugh.
I got you.
Yeah.
No problem. No problem. There you go.
What's up, Lola?
I appreciate it, bud.
Of course, that's what I'm here for.
How you doing, Lancey?
Oh shit, Dace is racing? Let's
Oh.
go.
Am I tweaking or did Lancey join? No, Lancey. oh,
He's
yeah.
here.
No, he's not
Yeah.
here.
Oh, then I'm
Are
not
you
here.
excited?
Can you guys not hear me?
Are you
I can hear
excited
you.
for? No, I thought I did, but you know, sometimes I be hearing shit, so I had.
That's all the fucking drugs.
Bro, I don't even do. I
Damn.
don't even do no druggies anymore.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Except,
Yeah, and
except
I'm a
for
fucking
a couple weeks ago when I
anorexic
did that
from
race on
Ethiopia.
shrooms. That's except for that race a couple weeks ago that I raced on shrooms. That's it.
I don't do drugs no more. Ever since a couple weeks ago, I ain't done no drugs since 3:30. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I'm clean.
I'm sober.
the
I'm
clock
sober.
reset. I'm a changed man.
I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too.
I haven't done drugs since the last time I've done drugs, so, you know, I'm making progress.
Lancey,
Yeah.
who you got, Holloway or Topuria?
Oh shit.
I don't know.
All right, we got
I
10
hope
minutes
all
here.
the way, but
I'm kind of scared.
Oh,
You know?
man,
we're
I'm
good to kill.
pissed.
Because, I mean, I don't know. I guess we're going to find out because Holloway's got the best chin and Topuria's just a little scary, bro.
I'm playing my Boston fan.
All right, they're talking about shit that we don't care about. We got a couple of drivers left. If you are joining us, if you can hear me, if there are wonderful things happening, this is the Midwest Interdivisional Race. Season 13 just wrapped up. We are looking forward to season 14 coming up here in a minute. We will get the schedules for season 14 released in a little while. Probably after, this is important, probably, we'll do it after. Where do I need to go? Weekend structure. We're going to be doing a sprint race, so we are going to be seeing a one-shot sprint quali into a 10-lap sprint race. And then we will see a one-shot race quali into our 28-lap Grand Prix. After our sprint race, we will spend some time going over our season 14 schedule, which is set to start here on the 7th of November. It will take us through to February 27th. We've got a couple of holidays to navigate through, so it is a time commitment a little longer than they typically are, but We'll make it through February 27th before we get into season 15 to wrap up what will be the 2024, the F1 2024 game cycle. Once again, I will remind those that are paying attention, the schedule for season 14 was completely voted on by the racers. So if anyone has a problem with it, you can look in the mirror. It is your fault, not mine. I just put them in an order. It is your responsibility that these tracks are on the schedule. So if there's a track that you really hate, tough shit. You chose it. Okay, we are slowly trickling in. We are looking at about 8 minutes to go. My house is, someone is threatening to burn my house down. You know, just the best and brightest here in the Midwest F1 league. All right, we are starting to fill in a little bit here. This did get scuffed. We had a lot of last-minute drops, changes. Remember, these cars are set to realistic, although I think we might be working with... I've heard reports that we're working with old data, so the order has changed with the cars that we are using. So although we tend to try to have the fastest cars reserved for the drivers from the lowest divisions, and vice versa, we might have a more interesting mixture this time around. Some fast guys might be in medium speed corner cars, and we'll just kind of have to see where it ends up. Oh, do I have it set to realistic? I don't. Oopsie daisy. Is it sim settings? Nope, not that. Off. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Sharir really wants the Mercedes. Quite a lot. It appears. All right, who are we currently missing? I'll send another invite to our friend Cam Tizzle. See if he can make it. There we go. We will once again check to see if we have any new friend requests. We have unread mail. I bet you I got some important updates here from Codemasters. Fan zone. Oh, we really care about that. Unclaimed rewards from what? What? You know, a fan token. What does that do? What is this? What is this? Oh, cash, insight, and XP. Those are really important. Those are really valuable, actually. I have 17 messages from Sharia Coleslaw asking for the Mercedes. That is quite the commitment. We will start here in just a minute. Fireball thinks he's going to be the slowest. That's unfortunate for him. You know, we can't all be winners. Ay. Drivers. Alright, Red Bull's filled out. No one's taking the McLarens. That's filled out. That's filled out. And those two are filled out. Alright. Oh, who's this? Who is this? Who the fuck is that? Gablin fell out of the lobby. Yeah, these people should, they should, all right, it's time to load in. Sharia Coleslaw said, Jesus will remember how I've turned his back on him. When the Lord calls you home, you'll have to defend your callous in action. That's unfortunate. I guess we'll see what happens there. All right, time to load in. Gonna have to learn the controls for spectating. It's been a hot minute. All right. One-shot sprint qualifying at Shanghai International. We have not raced here in Midwest in a number of seasons. It's been a while. I can't remember exactly the last time. I think someone said that it might have been season 10 or 11. And I'll give you a spoiler. We will not be racing there in season 14. So we might make that a requirement for season 15. We will see going forward here. With us having one-shot qualifying is not going to be very interesting viewing. I will be using it to get set up mostly, and we will kind of go from there, see what happens. We will be dry all weekend long. The only thing that will be changing is time of day and the state of the clouds. Have some overcast sessions, some sessions that are going to transition from overcast to sunny and sunny to overcast. But we do seem to have an overcast sky here for Sprint Q. as we will see who can manage to get out front early for this 10-lap sprint. Oh yeah, this is yeah, this is we're just gonna do that for now because this is I don't like telemetry. We are gonna enable that, and we will enable our trap map. And then we will see fastest laps as they become available. All right, one-shot queue. Anything can happen. Invalidations cost dearly. So it's important not to try and take everything out of the car. It's important to get a lap time down sometimes. This long back straight here at Shanghai. Drivers have, Midwest drivers that have raced every race have only raced this track one time in the next generation of Formula One cars, these ground effect cars. So it has probably been an adjustment. Maybe once or twice. Sorry, I might have misspoken there. Once or twice. All right. We get a bunch of numbers. We had a bunch of people disqualified, probably had those laps, but Fuse will lead us away from pole for our 10 laps shootout. Drivers will not be stopping. King Pro Player, Race Day, and Dace outperforming the Haas, Reimer, Sui, Cali Rob, Gunner, Deathstorm, Sharia there in 10th, and then Mosser, Fireball, and Element. Nugginator were the last three to get a time down. Number of cars, DSQ, probably invalidated there to round out those cars. All right. We will jump in with Fuse leading us away. Cake says that he has no setup. Multiple drivers might not have setups on, unfortunately. So that could be a bit of an issue for some of these guys. All right, we've got a bright summer day here. Oh, it appears that Cake might have been the one that pressed X. Will not have a setup on and might have cost some other folks dearly there. We are waiting for players. Oh, good Lord. Did this crash? Wouldn't that be fun? Oh, there it is. All right, we will have a formation lap here to lead us away. We are going to throw lap data on. And the thing that I would be interested in here is tire choice. Everybody going medium here today. I think that probably makes quite a bit of sense. Given the fact that we are looking at a 10-lap race on this game. Soft tires do tend to have difficulty going much further than 8 or 9 laps. Shanghai is a track with lots of extended corners. Tire wear would probably be pretty rough. I'm not sure what range of compounds we're on. Sharia apparently DSQs from from our formation lap here. So that is unfortunate. Very Sharia moment there. I'm sure someone did something stupid in front of him, and he made a boo-boo, made a mistake, made an accident. It's usually how that happens, although it is very strange to see just one car get DSQ'd on a formation lap. Very strange to see that. I wonder if someone brake checked them or something like that. That seems like it is likely what could have happened there. So we will begin forming up. Tires are getting warmed. Cars are weaving. It appears that there's a mix of people who know and do not know the strategy for proper tire warming in F124. If you know, you know. That possible race strategy powered by AWS, this is Jeff Bezos really knocking it out of the park there. Pit stops in sprint races, definitely something that I do not expect to see. If I see a pit stop here, I am going to be very confused. All right, and Rowdy is Tin Man is getting into position here. He will line it up on the grid, and we will be ready to go here. Looks like Fuse misses box. He'll be starting a little bit back. This is... There we go. And we got lights on. And it's go. All right. We are immediately 4 wide. They narrow it out. The Haas's make contact! Oh no, it's Dace! Dace stumbles! Oh, unfortunate. A big mess at the back. Sharia's in it. Reimer's in it. Gablin's in it. Oh man. Just a terrible thing. You hate to see it, genuinely. Dace getting spun around by a race day. I just know he's fuming. We've got multiple cars going 2 wide into the corner. They're all over the place. Still 2 wide here between these Red Bulls. And whoa, light work. All sorts of sideways through that corner. The car does get pretty light. Who is that off? Oh, that is Fireball. He is plummeting down the order. Oh, he might just be lagging like crazy. He is lagging like crazy, but we see light work trying to make it work here on Deathstorm. All over the place. They are 3 wide through the corner. How is that going to work out? He keeps it on the track, and they're still 3. Now they're 2 wide as Lightwork will tuck in, and they start to single file out. They're still going to spread back out here into the hairpin. Oh, here it comes. All sorts of squirrely cars all over the place trying to overtake. Oh, and Deathstorm looks like he may have half spun it. Fuse will lead us through the first lap here. And they're all over the place. Gablin will dive into pit lane. Race Day is right on his tail. The top 4 are all connected. That's where we see our first gap after that. We'll throw on the gap here so we can see Fireball or Sharia and Rapid Reimer all in. Probably wing damage, I would assume, here on those 3 cars. Battling still here in the top 3. Sui just kind of biding his time in the back there. But Pro Player really hassling Race Day here. Race Day, of course, one of the strongest drivers in Midwest over the last seasons. A former champion, of course, multi-time Grand Prix winner at the D1 level. Fuse, a champion in his own right. Yes, at a different level, but still, you know, a competent, long-time driver. King Pro Player, I've heard good things about him. Don't know much about him. DRS wide open. We'll see if Race Day can get a move done. He will take a look. He will back out of it and continue to follow, I think, into the lap or into turn 1. That'll be our interesting spot here. Of course, that decreasing radius corner, very, very long corner. We'll see if Race Day can get a move. He's pretty far back. I would expect him to stay back here. We see light work get by Brian Moser. And we got a bunch of cars in that mid-pack that are glued together, but this front group is, of course, still also glued together. So we've got quite a lot of battling going on all over the track. We'll drop it down the order here for a little while. This is a hornet's nest. Just a line of cars. Honestly, 7th through 15th are all still connected in a large train. All sorts of chaos can occur here. Short race, right? Short race. We do have kind of 3 packs here for important positions. We will see if anyone can make moves, but at this point it is kind of questionable. We got a really long straight coming up, so we'll see if Race Day can get a good exit here. Can King Pro Player use the double draft to make something happen between the 3 of these cars fighting for the top step? He's right on his tail. He will jump out. Fuse would react, but it is wheel to wheel. He is going to make that stick every single time. Race Day will take the lead. No fight back from Fuse. Now he's going to have to be looking in his rear view. Use the DRS on the front stretch here. Can he stay with Race Day? That front 4 still glued together, and that backpack still. Oh, and Fuse is going to take it back. Maybe not. Wheel to wheel. Oh, they touch. They touch. And Race Day is going to fall back. He's side by side. He'll keep that position. He'll dive it in deep. Oh, man, what a move. If he can make this stick on Fuse. This is going to be some Daniel Ricciardo at China stuff here. Can he make it stick? He cannot. Fuse, a little bit of contact. Maybe not the cleanest move, but he will retain the lead for this next upcoming lap. Race Day, surely not super excited about the way he was raced there. We'll see if he can get back by him on the stretch, but King Pro Player is still right on top of him. Any one of these 4 could win this. So he's still kind of biding his time back there. Hasn't really put his nose into anything here, but he is in a strong car for this. We got a couple of warning penalties coming out for light work and for Mosser. And we will dive back onto the back stretch. Pro Player is close, right on the gearbox of Race Day. Diving down this extremely long straight, almost a mile. And they will fan out, but dive back into line very late there from Race Day. Late but clean, I believe. And we will dive into the final corner. Very fast corner here. Of course, you can take a lot of track limits there. Looks like Pro Player is alongside. Can he get by? They are for the moment, and he will get in there into second, and he will start hassling Fuse right alongside. Fuse will get that inside line for the next corner, but the run out is really important here. A little bit of wheel spin, but he will have the inside line into the hairpin. That is important. Maybe a tiny bit of contact. Fuse can't hang it around the outside, and King Pro Player will take top step for now. All right, still looking back in the pack. Not a ton. Dace. Oh, who is off? Dace and maybe Brian might have made contact there. Not exactly sure what happened. Fuse. Oh, my goodness. My bad. Fuse dives it on King Pro Player, but King is going to hang it around the outside. Who got DRS is the question here. Who would have gotten it? King got it, which means he is going to have that huge run. And Sui takes the DRS drain with him. Sui into second. Can he make it stick? They fan out 3 wide. Sui going to lead it. Race Day thinking about coming back on him. Who is going to lead? Who's going to have second here? Looks like Sui's going to get it. Wow. He just followed King through Fuse, through Race Day, using that drag reduction system, using that slipstream. All right, now can he keep within that second of King in this next sector? Deathstorm out. DNF, what was it? Did he hit the curb just a little wrong? I guess we're not going to know. We are also not going to slow down. Sui is still struggling to be within that 1 second. Sui might have screwed himself here. What I'd be thinking at this very time right here is if Sui can't stay within that 1 second of King Pro Player, is it possible that they can't stay as a group attached to King? Those top four becoming just one, and then the next three. That would be the worry here if they can't find a way to get back in there, and they are dropping off King Pro Player in probably what is a very strong McLaren. These are supposedly realistic cars. We don't know exactly what the running order is, and of course, Race Day outperforming that Haas after maybe potentially murdering his teammate. And Race Day going to be defending here from Fuse. Fuse doesn't look like he's going to try and take that move. And we are seeing a gap form. Sui has gapped out from Race Day. So we are now looking at a battle for second here between Race Day and Fuse. Fuse getting alongside briefly there. I don't think he's going to have much of a move here. We'll see as they defend into it. Taking the inside line. Race Day, huge shunt off. Oh, geez. Haas just having a bit of a rough go of it. Cali Rob bullying past Race Day there. Race Day does have some wing damage. Yeah, that is a tough moment there. Lanzi and Tin battling it out here. For 8th, it appears. Oh, is that for Cake? That is Cake, my bad. Race Day, it appears, has kind of thrown the towel here, thrown the white flag, is going to limp it back home, but is not certainly battling. I would assume he's going to retire in the pit lane after that one and live to fight another day. We will see Cake here and Lanzi battling. Cali Rob getting past Fuse. This train here is intense for the final points positions. Oh, Fuse dropping like a stone. He may have had an off himself. But he looks like he's going to be joining this pack maybe in the midfield. Fuse has left the session. Hopefully that he did not rage quit. We will see. Gablin looking. Is he going to make that stick around the outside? He'll get Cake. Can he also get Lanzi? Doesn't look like it. Can Cake switch it back into the final corner? No. Gablin will get Cake, not Lanzi, and he will live to fight onwards. That yellow is for Race Day, slowly limping it back to the pit lane. And Gablin along the outside. Can he make it stick around the outside of Cake, or can Cake take the spot? Cake will take the spot. It is slow. It is slow. Oh, geez. All sorts of lockups. Fireball looks like he is going to be dropping back. Fuse is back. Race Day has retired in the pit lane. It looks like we are going to have a decided podium at the moment. Lightwork, I kind of missed him. He worked his way up very diligently. He is self-proclaimed a little out of practice right now on the F1 games, but we do know he has pace. He has D1 winning pace. At times, I think there were times where Lightwork could have been a D1 champion had his attendance been slightly better. Cake, we're gonna see Lanzi looking at Fuse here. Can he make it stick in front of us? He's got the inside line. Can he break any later? He will take that spot. Inside line for Fuse. Fuse cannot maintain that wheel advantage, and Lanzi will get a brilliant move done. Dace is coming back into the top 10. He will be sniffing soon the rear of Cake as we dive on to the penultimate lap. Not the penultimate lap, that's the 10th lap. This is the second to last lap of this sprint. This train here still glued together, battling for 8th. The gap from first to second, massive. From first to third, pretty big. And really we're looking, can Tin Man get into Gunner's DRS, and who will be in 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th here. These minor points paying positions here. Following through, in a fast race car in this session will be loose, very loose. The rear loves to slide here from the limited testing I've done. But to make a fast race car in those sections, you are very loose very often. Fuse made a little look. Oh, Lanzi will drop back. I'm wondering, is this a little bit of DRS chicken from Lanzi? It is possible. Is he letting him go so that he can get him back? Or was he just straight mugged off? I guess we'll find out. Now, the real interesting thing is here, is Cake going to follow Lanzi through? Pierce so. Lanzi can't get the move done. Cake looking like he might get the switch back. He cannot, and they will be as they were. On to the final lap. Big snap oversteer there from Dace. Dace is in the DRS, and there is Lanzi going for it. He will sail past into turn 1. Now the question is, can he make a gap? He cannot. Not yet, anyway. We have seen good runs coming off the outside of this corner into the next hairpin. Doesn't look to be so this time. Lanzi will keep this spot more than likely as they fan out, dive into the corner, try to outbreak each other, but cannot. King Pro player is rounding the third to final corner. That long snail before the backstretch. He will take a win here. Granted, nothing major happens. But this is where the battle is going to occur. Who is going to be in 7th? We don't quite know yet. Lanzi is going to lead us onto the pit lane. He played DRS chicken there 100% of the time. I know Lanzi. No way he didn't. This guy's going to win. But who's going to have this spot? Lanzi, and they're going to fan out all over the place. Lanzi will lead us into the final hairpin, but will he lead this pack? Oh my goodness, they are all over the place. The positions are changing by the meter. Lanzi looks like he will take 7th from this group. They go a little wide. Fuse looks like he's gonna get 8th, and what a mess for those minor positions. Dace finishing 9th. Good recovery from him after getting mugged in turn 1. Sharia limping this car back after being involved in Dace's murder. Wasn't able to make the same amount of time. Had to take a stop with wing damage there. Reimer, Mosser, and then Fireball will lead us back. He is looks like he's taking his time here. But that will be our sprint race. A complete banger for the first half in those front 4, and an absolute scenes in the back half of that race between those midfielder cars. Lightwork gets driver of the day by the game. I think that is plenty fair. He had a heck of a drive, although we did miss most of it. Just a very quiet drive from him. All right, King Pro player was able to take it from Sui, Callie, and Lightwork, that driver of the day. Gunner, a quiet 5th. Tin Man, a good result. Lanzi, Fuse, Dace, Element, Gablin, that battle. Cake, also part of that battle. And then our unfortunate drivers who got caught in accidents. Sharia, Reimer, Mosser and Fireball, and then Race Day and Deathstorm. Unfortunately, not able to finish the race. Man, that was a heck of a race. There. We will take a breath and stretch our legs here as we prepare for regular qualifying for the race. Oh, they got to change it. Round 2 fight, Brian Moser says. We will be diving into, once again, a one-shot quali. The game gets a little hectic with one-shot quali, so we're just going to kind of, we'll just pick a guy. Let's pick Light Work as he was driver of the day, and we'll just let the car kind of drive around here. Who's our favorite? I think that that King Pro player, McLaren's meshing is going to be challenging. I think if Dace and Race Day don't kill each other, of course they're going to be battling for the lead here pretty handedly. Those are two drivers that can overcome a car, and I think that we might be looking at a Haas that isn't as weak as we might think it is, or at least the information that we had thinks it was. I think that might be more of a midfield car than we initially kind of thought here. Those Saubers, I do feel a little bad for them. I think that those are probably our weakest cars. But we will see. We're going to get a little bit of a surprise, a little bit of a shock here, as we are not going to see Cake retires. He, well, who knows what he did? Probably got a track limits. Was he using DRS there? I don't know if I noticed him using DRS there. Into the final corner he goes. DRS open. Race Day disqualified. Deathstorm disqualified. Any others? Gavlin disqualified. Lightwork will run us off 5th. In the Alpine. Alright, King does get pole from Fuse, from Lindsay, Reimer, Lightwork, Dace, Callie, Suey, Brian, Gunner, and Sharia. Noganator, Tin Man, Fireball, Cake not setting a time, Deathstorm not setting a time, Race Day, and Gavlin not setting times. Unfortunate for them. Now we will see, can King run away with it? The McLaren being very strong. Or will someone be able to challenge him? Fuse in that Ferrari seems strong. The Alpine seems like they might be strong. We'll go into it a 28 lap affair. Weather forecast looking once again dry, but we will see the sun start to peek through the clouds part of the way through the race here, and we will finish this afternoon's race in a clear skies conditions. We were not able to see the schedules in between sprint race and regular race. It was a rather quick event. We will see the schedules, the schedule posted at the very end of this Grand Prix. Once we wrap it all up, I will send it on over to our schedule reveal for season 14 here. Oh, did we set our fantasy lineups? I appear to have forgotten again. That's very important. Thursday Night Football has already started. You should have set your fantasy lineup already. But unfortunately, I'm a Mike Evans owner. And a Jade Daniels owner. So, it's been a year. All right, we will have a formation lap here. This game has some beautiful, beautiful smoke. And that's on high detail. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting thing there. All right, the game thinks that we are going to be looking at hard medium or hard medium medium. Looks like we do. That is something that we should check. Tire compound here. We do have a mix on the grid. Lanzi, Dace, Brian, Gunner, Sharia, Nog, and Cake opting medium. If you were aware, Sui had a string of races where he decided alternate strategy was the way for him to go, and every single time he chose an alternate strategy, he got screwed over by an early safety car that completely ruined his race. It has caused him to fall in line with others, for the most part, in recent race events. But we will see here. I'm sure most drivers will attempt to one-stop this. Two stops are so frequently competitive. Only really a couple of tracks where those are really viable. Tracks with short pit lanes, Canada. Tracks with lots of laps like Austria are also sometimes possible to two-stop, although very, very rarely. Spain was for a while a two-stop, but I would expect most tracks, most drivers will attempt to one-stop this race. And we will see drivers begin to line up. Gavin still lagging behind here after invalidating, failing to set a time here. Lanzi will start a little bit further back. Sui will start a little bit further back. And who was that race day that was off in the grass? Yes, it was. Cake, Sharia, Fireball, Deathstorm. Oh man, we cannot park today. And we've got 3 lights, 5, and it is go. A getaway, a jump from race day. He will dive to the inside. Can we get 3 wide before the corner? No, we cannot. King will lead us. Fuse will fight back. The Alpines battling. We have 3 wide behind them. King will take the inside line, and he will make it stick for the time being. And we have, Reimer. Big contact into the wall. His nose might be okay. We see some dives in the backfield, but no major damage here. Nothing too crazy. The pack will stay together. Reimer has dropped to the back, but I think he might have gotten away with it somehow. They will single file it out through this snaky mid-section, Sector 2, before leading us on to the long back straight where I'm sure we will see some chaos. Lanzi with a bit of a slide there. Some cars, some battling happening further back in the field as we hit the backstretch. Cars all in a line. First one to dive out is Lightwork. Will he be able to make something stick? It seems like he will. Dace wheel to wheel. Dace maybe a little bit of touch. Maybe he lit up the tires. Dace will hold on to the position for this lap. But this battle is far from over. Just getting started here on lap 1. Pro will take it from pole to first. For lap 1, he does not have the symptoms of a McLaren driver. As we snake our way through the snail. We will throw on deltas. Oh, actually, what? Yeah, we're gonna do intervals, and we are going to keep it at let's look. Reimer with that spin. Yeah, that was a bit of a mess. Race day up 5 from not qualifying, and Sharia up 4. Early on in the running, we have a car off. It is Fireball. Has he spun? We don't know, but he is slow in the back. He will need some help here to get sorted. The top 4 or 5 still connected here, but starting to kind of spread out a little bit. Dace is the closest to the next car. Will he try it? Does not look like it. He might be trying to save it a little bit, make the moves a little bit later on in the GP. We have a little bit of a fight for the minor places here. Cake on the inside. He will hold on to the position for the time being. We go into turn 1. Gap still remaining. Sui and Mosser are battling. Sui will take that spot for the time being as they snake in through the snail. Mosser still on the gearbox. Does he want to dive into this corner? He does have a tire advantage at the moment. Very important for these medium runners to try and get through as many hard runners as they possibly can early on in the stint. Try to stretch their legs and take advantage of their compound advantage early. But if those hard runners are able to stay in front, able to keep their pace, manage their tire a little bit more, it does completely benefit them to try to race these medium runners hard if it doesn't cost too much time. We'll dive onto the back stretch where DRS will open for Fuse. He is 7/10 back. Might be a tough go of it, but the DRS, the slipstream on this game is powerful. Very powerful. He's going to close 3/10. Dace will get by Lanzi. Looks like Lanzi might have moved. They might be strategerying here. They might be working together. They are both weird shit drivers after all. WS stays together for life, and they might be working together to try and keep with Fuse and King. Fuse looks to it, but will not go. Race day, we have some battling here in the midfield. Brian will lose 2 spots. Nogue will get past, and Race day will get by both of them, it appears. Fireball did pit after his spin. Oh, no, he did not. Sorry. He is going to tough it out on those hard tires for as long as he can. It also appears Reimer did not need to pit. That wing was intact, enough so that he could stay out. We do see these 2 cars, this McLaren and this Ferrari, start to stretch their legs. We will see, it'll be tough. It'll be tough for Lanzi, Dace, and now Lightwork joining that fight. It'll be tough for those 3 to kind of keep in touch with these lead cars. The question is, Dace and Lanzi are on that medium. They are going to be alternating strategy to King and Fuse. Fuse further back than he was last lap. I don't expect him to get up to that gearbox. Lightwork with the double drag reduction and the double. We have cars sliding. We've got the snake already starting here, sliding to that far outside. Will they make many moves? It does not seem so. Lots of smoke. Going all the way back. Gablin is going to move ahead. Never mind. He misses the corner, and Cake and Tin will go through. Fuse is much closer with King than he was last lap. Following through this windy bit, it is tough on the tires. The dirty air can be rough through these corners. Will he be able to stick with him long enough to get to the back straight, close enough to try and make a move? Dace, Lancy, Lightwork still working. They are dropping off the back. The pace of those cars just not able to match the pace of these cars at the moment. We do have a couple other packs going on. It appears that we have a Sharia Coleslaw train with Callie, Race Day, Sui, and we have a spinner. It is Cake. He is off in the gravel. Off. Let's see if he can get that turned around. He is working on it slowly but surely. King is Fuse is closer to King than he was last lap around. Will it be enough? It might be. It might be enough to make him think about it. The Snake begins behind them, the next three behind these two cars, taking it nice and easy, racing the long haul, as I would expect from guys that are experienced from D1 racers, thinking about the long haul rather than the now. But the battle here between lots of guys that... Oh, and Lanzy will take P3. Lightwork looking at Dace. Dace gonna fight it. Fight it like hell. And he will maintain it. He gets all sorts of squirrely. Going into the next hairpin, Dace will have a nose lead. Will he add a broken? No, he will not. Dace will hold onto it. He will maintain DRS to Lanzy. Oh, Fuse! Big off. I told you earlier, I told you in the sprint if you were here, the car gets a fast race car gets very loose in that corner, and Fuse looks like he may have had it go around on him. A fast race car is set up low downforce at this track, and with those long extended corners, it can step out on the best of us. Fuse may have experienced that. It will release King. He has clean air in front, clean air behind. He will start to pound in the lap times and try to stretch his legs as these medium runners behind him start to fade. The Snake's still fighting back there. Sui, Race Day, Nogginator. Sharia will get past Fuse. Fuse just going through it now. Sharia slides through the corner. Oh, geez. Will he be able to use that to get around him? I think he will. He manages. Can he stay on track? Yes, he can. Cake is off in that second to last corner. I think Cake's just having a rough go of it. This battle here, Cake retires from the session. Will that bring out a safety car? It is possible. Lanzy, Dace, Lightwork, Chase, King, pro player in first, Fuse, Sharia, Race Day, Nogginator, Callie Rob, and Sui round out our top 10. Cake's car is parked on the outside of the long back stretch. It appears it will not bring out a safety car. Through the snaky bits we go, following the battle for P2, 3, and 4. Now the ever-growing gap to the leader continues to stretch. Will it be possible for these cars to catch back up? Will there be some strategy games that they can play? We will see. Lanzy will be a sitting duck on this straight. We don't know how much, if he is burning, as they try to catch here. He weaves to the inside. Is he trying to defend? Is he trying to let Dace go? We don't know. Dace will pass. They will keep Lightwork behind the two of them as they continue to potentially work together to try to keep these positions that they have earned. Gablin will slide past Tin Man in the rear of the field. Fireball still pounding around back there. You gotta hand it to him. I respect guys that try to finish what they've started. Battling still happening all over the racetrack. Fuse getting past again. I think he slid. He might just be in a really, really pointy setup. I think he slid through turn 1. I think that's what that smoke might have been. Shreya and Race Day will slide past him. You got to start to wonder, what is he doing to his rear tires if this is the way that this car is handling. Nogue thinks about it, dives on the inside of him, isn't able to stick it in there. But, you know, Fuse is possibly battling a very loose race car here. From what I've been able to see so far, he might be a sitting duck for some of these cars. I bet you he's pretty slippery on the straights, but man, if you can't hold on to it in the corners, then you're gonna have problems. We will dive back on to the backstretch with these top 3 cars. Who will be able to come out on top in this battle? Who is going to claim second place, as it appears that King might be running away with this? They'll be as they were this time around. Race Day might be able to glide right past Shreya. Are more cars going to pass Shreya? That is the question here. Shreya will stay ahead of Fuse. Nog is in there. We've got this pack is all bunched up. They're going to go too wide into the final corner. Oh, geez. And Fuse gets loosey-goosey again. He will kind of have to concede there. Sui will slip by him on the outside. And Callie Rob looking for it. They go too wide into it. Callie and Sui battling wheel-to-wheel in through the first corner. Can Sui hang on? No, he cannot. He is going to be inside of Fuse. Looks like that's how it's going to sort out here. Callie with a brilliant work. Great wheel-to-wheel battle between Sui and Callie. 2 very respectful Division 1 drivers. Fuse going to dive it in. We've got a car off. It is... Who is it? It's Lightwork. Oh, no. Lightwork. Whoa. Big junk. Deathstorm. Oh, 10-second penalty for Reimer. Collision with Deathstorm. Oh, it's for Deathstorm for a collision with Reimer. Big junk there. Oh, jeez. It appears that Reimer is getting out of the way. His race may have been ruined there. He worked his way back up. He had been battling from his initial spin. It looks like that might be over. Lightwork originally battling for those top steps, now falling all the way back to 14th. He did have wing damage as he flew past there. We'll see if he pits early here, or if that will be all she wrote for him. King still maintains his lead, still pulling his gap out. We will expect to see the mediums think about stopping soon here. Those medium runners probably looking at 10, 11, 12 laps. I'm not sure if the undercut is powerful here. Lightwork will dive into the pit lane, as well as Rapid Reimer. They are either going to double step or both retire in the pit lane, and I could see either happening at this point. Reimer will give in. He'll throw the towel. He'll be our second DNF. Lightwork throws the mediums on. He might be coming back out, trying to see what he can do here. This battle for those midfield points, midfield positions, still intense here. All of these cars battling within 1 second, and wow! I wonder if Shreya might have had just a wiggle there and had to give it up, and it's going to cost him multiple positions. Fuse. Oh, Shreya is out of the session. Can we get him back in? I'll send him one. Hopefully we can get him back in. That is very unfortunate. That appears what that was. We've got another car off. It's Tin Man. Oh, that was a rejoin, if I've ever seen one. Nearly taking out Gunner and Gavlin in the process. All right. Shreya, unfortunately, I don't think he's joined back. Hopefully his car can maintain inside the DRS when he gets back. Oh, Lanzi gets a multiple track limits warning. He has lost Dace. He must have been pushing, trying to stay within that DRS of Dace. Dace here still valiantly wrestling that Haas in the top 3 here. Race Day working at it. Race Day did start much further back than Dace, so he has been struggling from the rear of the grid. Dace on a different tire strategy from race day here as well. Now, with the Sharia momentary lapse in internet connectivity, this mid-pack has broken up quite a bit, not meaning that they aren't still pretty close together. We are going to see a battle here from Callie and Fuse. Fuse, I feel like I saw Fuse's nose. Yeah, he's still sliding. Fuse's nose kind of getting a little bit lost in the air. You can kind of see him. That car's floating on that nose, I believe. It must be tough to drive. But will he be able to get a run here on Callie? Will Callie maybe manage to maintain? They're all just kind of right outside that DRS window, behind the cars in front of them. We'll see who opens their wing and who doesn't. Sui was lucky enough to get it. It appears Callie is going to have to defend hard against Fuse. Sui will not be able to maintain, or not attack, but he will be able to maintain. This battle between Fuse and Callie will start to heat up. Callie in a much, much weaker car, it has to be said, but a Division 1 multi-time winner in his own right, a driver that we have lots of respect for here in Midwest. Sharia was able to join back in, but he has lost the DRS. As the pit window appears to start to open here for the medium runners, Gunner is going to dive into the pit lane, switch onto the hard tire, and bring it to the end. Nogginator looks like he's under fire from Fuse. Fuse is still going to have that car with it, I think, is ill handling. He's had some tough challenges, and wow, that was very close there. Between the two of them, the Aston and the Ferrari, battling through Sector 2, a very snaky section. Sharia has joined back in, now is behind Brian. Maybe he can start to work back from there. Fuse with his wiggly squiggly car diving onto the backstretch. Will he be able to make a move on Nog? We're going to jump on board as they snake down the backstretch. Oh, that's 2 moves already. He has a huge run on him. I wonder if Nog has burned that battery up. Lightwork has left the session. Ah, no. Battling into that final hairpin. Mosser and Dace and Lanzi both pit at the same time. I think that this might still be that teamwork, that they might be working together here. Come out in a DRS train, use the DRS between the two of them to keep positions, to keep trying to jump further and further. They're going to come out nose to tail here, hards to the end. Deathstorm is going to dive into the pit lane for the medium compound tire. Never mind, he is going to retire from the session. Unfortunately, the battle here, Element, Nogginator still battling on that medium tire. See if he can try and get an overcut here on these cars in front of him. Just sent a whole bunch to our buddy Sharia here. And then Lightwork also has left, so we will see if we can get one to him. That battle happening in the back. I did not see him. Element, Nogginator, well, you can see if he will think about it. At this point, if I'm in Nog's shoes, I'm kind of thinking about how can I use the DRS from these cars in front of me to try to keep up the pace on an aging tire. He is going to dive into the pit lane. Never mind. He will not Lewis Hamilton it. He will dive straight into the pit lane. We will see where he comes out. Gablin staying out. Dace on that fresh set of tires. This will be interesting. Have they jumped cars? They have caught traffic. Unfortunately, those cars that are still staying out, they will easily clear Nogginator as expected to. Shreya has left the session again, unfortunately. I guess it's just not meant to be for him. Dace is going to think about it. Dace is going to want to get by him as soon as he possibly can. He is going to dive on in there. Superior tire life, I think. Oh, a little bit of contact, but I think Dace is clearly always going to run away with this one. Fuse and Race Day now are on top of each other. Fuse with a little bit of second life here after the unfortunate spin that he had earlier. Working on Race Day here. Lanzi also battling it out here. Will Lanzi attempt to move? He will not. I will expect Lanzi to easily fly by down the backstretch. Will Fuse try a move on Race Day? He will not. There is a yellow in the back. I don't think it's important. Fuse will have to stay behind Race Day one more lap. The pit window, I would assume, is already open. I guess I would have probably assumed it would stay closed for a little bit longer. Lanzi did get by, but we will see our first hard runners dive in. Fuse, followed by Sui, trying for that undercut of Race Day. And some of those other cars that are going to stay out an extra lap. They will be going to the medium tire as expected. The question is, how much time did they lose on the other cars they were battling? Tin Man is going to stay out another lap. He will be that dividing line between those midfield cars. Dace and Lanzi still have cars in front of them that need to pit, but are going to work together to try and create a little bit of a leapfrog gap here. Might work on catching some of these cars, passing some of these slower traffic cars. The only thing I'm concerned of here for drivers like Cali Rob, is it possible for him to rejoin the further up the grid as he has clean air? He can pump in some lap times here before pitting. That is the benefit of the overcut, of course. Lanzi and Dace here have caught Gablin. Much fresher tires, of course, for those two that have pitted. Looks like Gablin's dealing with a little bit of rear instability there as they dive onto the backstretch. I don't think he can fight this one too hard. I don't think Dace will let him fight it too hard as they dive into the hairpin here. It's just too far back. They did just catch him this lap, so Dace and Lanzi will have to think about passing him into turn one here if he stays out. Race Day is in. And that is important for that midfield battle. We'll see where Race Day comes out. Gablin also going to dive in, clearing the way for Dace and Lanzi. Tin Man's going to stay out another lap. King and Callie are also going to stay out another lap. So they are now extending that safety car window here. They would be huge benefactors. Tin Man would be a huge benefactor if there were to be a safety car in the next lap. Sui did not benefit from this pit exchange here, it seems. Kind of fell back from Nogginator, from Race Day. This field has gotten much more spread out under this here. Cali Rob might be working some magic, though. I would assume, I think Cali's got to come this time by, but he has worked, I think he's probably worked a couple of positions up here. King is going to be free and easy, pit from the lead, maintain the lead here. I would think they're both going to come this time by. King is going to stay out another lap. I think if I'm Cali here, I do want to get back in the fight this time. Tin Man, I think the best thing for him to do is stay out here, keep trying to fight, and pray for that position, that safety car at some point here. Dace and Lanzi switching spots there. Cali does come in as expected. Fuse and going to be working on Tin Man here. Should be a pretty done and dusted easy as he sets past this lap. Easy pass here. Much fresher tires. Much big tire advantage here with the compound difference. Cali is looking to exit here in 8th position. He'll be battling forward from there. He will have a tire advantage on Noganator here. Looks like net P7 at the time of pit exit. Gablin and Brian battling. Oh, big damage, I think. Oh no, both wings are okay. It must have been just wheels banging there. Too tough to tell whose fault that was from that POV here. But that is certainly a way to pass. Dace and Lanzi continue to work together here. They have not been able to gain enough time on King to catch him in the pit cycle here. Although King is still staying out. Every single lap that he stays out on those tires, though, it gets a little bit easier. He might be extending to softs at this point. I think that is a very great possibility. He sticks it out, tries to go on to softs here to round out his time, to round out his race. Race Day will be the next man to pass Tin Man. As Tin Man continues to stay out, he finally is going to concede. Those tires have clearly had it. As Fuse puts in another fast lap, I would assume that King is going to attempt to crush that lap, potentially with a soft tire here at the end of the race. Brian and Gablin are still battling back here. Lots of work to be done between these two if they wish to move back further up the field. Brian's going to be hoping that those medium runners start to experience some pretty drastic fall off here. Tin is going to come out in 12th, right behind Lightwork on a fresh set of mediums. Lightwork is going to start experiencing a lot of tire drag, already 8 laps on his tires. He pit on the early side of that window. I thought he pit a little early when he did come. So, and he's going to get dive bombed by Tin. Tin is going to open the door for Sharia as well. Sharia probably already experiencing a tire advantage on Lightwork with those 8-lap old tires. King is finally going to take his McLaren into the pit lane. And there's contact there. Oh, contact. Just that overspeed, I think. Lightwork just a little bit slower than Sharia expected. What tire is it? It is medium tires for King to the end. The question is, will there be even a close sniff for Dace coming out of the pit lane? They are going to get by. They are going to get by. They were able to extend work together. They both are going to get by King. Now the question is it at all possible for them to keep him behind? He is going to be very rapid for these next 11 laps on that fresh medium tire. He will start to experience a significant deg at the end of this stint. Something that Dace and Lanzi will probably be working through graining at some point during the stint. But if they continue to work together, they might be able to steal one here that we thought for a long time King had this in the bag. But now it's not so sure. Now there might be a hill to climb, a hill that I don't think was there if he would have pit at a similar time with a lot of the other drivers. I think his extending that stint might have bit him in the end of it. We're also seeing Fuse start to climb back into this race. If Fuse can get there, this is also going to throw a wrench into King's race here. He will have DRS as these two WS drivers are going to continue to work together. Lanzi as a rear gunner for Dace at the moment. I would assume that they're going to try to work as hard together as they can to pull one out for their buddies. But King on that fresh set of tires, I think, is going to probably work his way by these two drivers. It's mostly about them keeping touch with him, making him work for it, making him use as much tire as they can to try and reel him in before this Grand Prix is over. Lanzi is going to take a slightly defensive line in turn 1. It is tough to make it work in turn 1. He will slide by. Wow, that was a heck of a move. Lanzi will stick right on that gearbox, sliding on the exit of turn 2, back down into this hairpin. Dace will maintain the lead for the time being, but with DRS down the backstretch, Dace is going to be a sitting duck. Even here, we can see that tire advantage is pretty massive for those fresh medium tires. This battle is far from over. I still think that with the deg that we might see on KPP's tires by the end of this race, we might start to see the hard tires battle back, but I also do think that there is going to be some graining phase. I think King might have gotten DRS and the position there. We will see right as they cross this line. Yes, he did. That is a tough moment for Dace. The DRS is important, but that slipstream is still powerful. He won't lose too much time, and it looks like King might have made a mistake. Might have broke a little bit too late. Not too bad, but he will take that spot. Now, can he use that softer compound? Sets a fastest lap by, I believe, almost a second there. From Fuse's fastest lap. Can he flex this medium tire to a 1 second advantage? Yes, he can already. This is where I think it is very critical that Lanzi and Dace work together to try and keep at least within a few seconds of King, not let him get too far away. I think that the strategy that they worked together on gave them a shot at this, but they are going to have to perfect it here. That gap does start to stretch out between Dace and King, but this gap between Callie and Nog still, this battle has been going on all race, and there's a car off. There's a car off. Is it race day? It is race day. He is in the wall. He has lost his wing. An unfortunate end. The Haas, I think, giving him demons all race long. He will bring it back onto track. He is so far off. He is taking a different layout. I think that's the Moto layout. Yeah, that is not what a Formula One car is supposed to look like in the year of our Lord 2024. And it's a VSC for it. Oh, geez, I didn't even notice. A VSC will slow us down. That is honestly very beneficial for our medium runners, drivers like King. He is going to be able to save some tire and maintain that gap. I think this is very beneficial for him in particular as he is on those fresh medium tires. The race is back green. They closed the gap maybe slightly, but there is a gap between Lanzi and Dace that wasn't there before. Maybe just a little bit of mistiming there from Dace or from Lanzi. Race day will be falling down the order. I would expect him to retire in pit lane after this. A very unlucky weekend from him. That is him just letting cars by. Lanzi will be back in the DRS of Dace. That is something that I think they really need to do. I don't see this working out for them anymore, unfortunately. I think that did really harm their momentum. I think they needed King to really lose as much tire as he possibly could. Race day just sent it into pit entry there. He has seemed to have a habit of doing that this game cycle. Callie following in the dirty air. He is going to start to lose that tire advantage he has around now. Car snapping on him there into this short straight before this snail corner and onto the long backstretch. He is going to be well within the gap to overtake. I think anywhere under half a second is an easy pass on this backstretch with just the length of it, with the DRS power, with the strength of the draft this season, this year on this game. This should be a very easy overtake for Callie Robb. They will go wheel to wheel for a while, but into the braking zone. Callie makes it happen, makes it stick. The question is, will he be able to keep him behind him going into the hairpin of going into turn one, make that stick? Really, the softer compounds only really get to stretch their legs a ton in Sector 2. You can carry so much more speed through those fast corners. This battle is going to continue on if Callie can't pull that gap. Oh, big wiggle from Nogginator. That will cost him 4 tenths there. And we will see Callie, if he can stretch it out here, he might have a shot to keep this position as his tires start to age. That gap between 1 and 2, almost 4 seconds now. I think that this might be all she wrote. There was a glimmer of hope for a time, but I think Dace and Lanzi might just not have enough time. They're really, not that they're not going to have enough time, but there might just not be enough time for those mediums to wear out to a point where they can battle. Tin Man and Brian are nose to tail, battling it out here. Tire delta is pretty significant, but once again, those mediums are going to start to wear out soon here. He is all over him, though. Callie was able to break that 1 second gap to Nogginator, but Brian definitely not all over his gearbox. This should be, once again, we're within that half second. I think this should be a slam dunk, very easy move. Looks like Lanzi is also going to think about it with Dace as they work together. Easily done for Tin Man on Brian, but once again, that battle is going to be one that continues. Lanzi and Dace are on top of each other. At this point, they have to start looking in that rear view. Fuse is only a second and a half back. On older medium tires, very similarly to aged medium tires, it might be possible that the hard tires at 11 laps are starting to go through that graining phase. They might need to work through that to clean up that tire and then regain that pace. We often see that on F124. Yellow is for Brian, it appears. That is unfortunate. That battle between him and Tin is going to look to be over in these final 4 laps. The gap from first to second now 5 whole seconds. Yeah, we can probably stick a pin in this race for King without the intervention of a safety car. Dace and Lanzi are going to continue to work together. Lanzi does carry that penalty. How much he cares, we don't know. He might play severe rear gunner for Dace. He might just want to win it on track, might just want to beat Dace on track at this point. I could see either of those outcomes happening here. Fuse is clawing it in, and he might he's going to be battling to get into the DRS of these two cars. Now, once again, we've mentioned before the slipstream is very powerful on F124. A double slipstream with DRS, and Fuse can instantly be within the shouting distance of P2. He might be able to take this away. He's going to be wanting to burn some battery here, trying to get into this DRS. It's going to be very valuable. He's going to have to play his cards right here. He might want to charge for a lap or two. Plus those tires, he's kind of running out of time here. His tires being so old for mediums, he might start to see that struggling. Plus, I believe he's been pretty loose all weekend long. That's another thing for him to keep in the back of his mind. Can he maintain the rear end stability in that Ferrari while he chases down this Red Bull, this RB, and this Haas? They will snake their way through the snail of 1, 2, 3, going into the hairpin of 4 or 5. I don't know. Will he make a move here? I doubt it. I think Fuse's best bet here is to bide his time. He's going to have to try and strategery this around 2 different cars. Appears Lanzi might be dropping back just a tick to make this a little bit more difficult. Kind of spread out the dirty air a little bit. Kind of back up Fuse here. It's also possible Lanzi is just dropping from Dace. That would be very, very dangerous for Lanzi at this point. Lanzi not having that DRS would be a death sentence. I think that Lanzi will have DRS here going on to the backstretch, but I think that Fuse is going to get by here with the utilization of a very, very strong slipstream. Should be easy work. Oh, and Lanzi did not get DRS. That is unfortunate. It looked very, very close. It's going to be a very easy move. Oh, but Lanzi is going to break very, very late and battle him into the corner. They're wheel to wheel through the exit. Oh, pushing him off track. That was a bit cheeky from the Dutchman. He is going to maintain that position for the time being. They are going to be wheel to wheel into one. Their position flipping back and forth as they battle their way down the front stretch into the corner. Lanzi with the interior line. This outside line is tough to make, and he might make it stake. Fuse is going to have wheel to wheel, front end to rear axle. Fuse is going to get it done. A great move, a great tough fight there. Lanzi a little cheeky on the entry to the final corner, but Fuse was able to keep the visor down, keep it going, and get through the RB of Lanzi. Now he will be on the hunt. Can he get back within that 1 second of Dace? The tire's definitely starting to fall off on this medium compound. It looks like he's used a good chunk of his battery. How much Dace has, only one can guess. Lanzi will be within 6/10 going onto the backstretch. That isn't grounds for an easy move in any sense of the imagination, but it is definitely grounds for a move, especially with a big helping of slipstream from the Haas and the Ferrari in front of him. He looks to make a move at the last section. No, he will stick behind as we enter onto the final lap of this F1 24 Season 13 Midwest Interdivisional Race, the final Interdivisional Race for the time being, with 3 different divisions. King will lead us 7 seconds from Dace, from Fuse, who has gotten back within that DRS gap. Fuse is going to make this a race here to the line on this final lap. Lanzi sticking in it. Now we have a little bit of a Dace DRS train. Lanzi with a big slide out of 2. He wanted to get on that power so bad. He was not able to, and it might have cost him dearly, so we will flip it up. Fuse is going to be closing in on Dace. Those mediums lasting a lot longer than I thought they would have. Fuse just must have had a rough go of it. His setup, his driving style might not have matched with that hard tire, but they definitely have meshed very, very well with this medium tire. A little bit of a slide there. That is going to cost him pretty dearly. We still are looking for that 5/10 gap. That is a guaranteed pass going on the backstretch. This 6/10 gap, he's going to give it all the battery he has. They're going to be close. This is going to be a fight, a tooth and nail fight. Dace is not an easy driver to pass. Dace will not give an inch. Dace will not hold a bar. They are going to snake their way down the backstretch. Will Fuse be able to? His rear wing is wide open. I don't think there's going to be enough. I think they saved some ERS to keep that defense up into the final corner. Crumbing across the finish line, King Pro player absolutely crushes it. Dace will manage to maintain that P2 over Fuse. A great battle all the way through. Fuse battled through a lot of adversity there. Lanzi coming home in 4th. No bad race from his own. Cali Rob, I think this is a very underrated drive here. Cali Rob, that interval may be a big gap, but he battled that Sauber more than he battled cars around him. He was able to complete the pass, complete the battle with Nogginator. Sui coming home in 7th. Fair play to him. Gavilan not able to match his teammate here, not able to match the other driver in the McLaren, but he is going to round it in, bring it round the final corner, bring it into 8th. Tin Man had some good battles with Brian there, is going to bring it home in 9th. Brian, as mentioned before, battled with Tin Man throughout this race. He's going to bring it home in 10th. Sharia had some connectivity issues. Real shame for him. We could have seen him battling up there with Sui, Cali, and Nogginator. Light work actually battling. Oh, a piece of wing goes by. Oh, jeez. A battle here for 12th on the final lap. Definitely an interesting moment there. Not quite sure who's at fault for this, but it looks like Gunner will take it from Light work, and Fireball is going to bring it home in 14th. Thank you so much for those of you who have joined us, and now it will be time to go take a look at our season 14 schedules. The driver of the day going to be given to Dace in that one. We'll run through our order one final time before we send it over to our schedule announcement. King Pro Player will hold the biggest trophy at the end of the day for McLaren. This may have been a little bit of a combination of a driver that was pretty quick in a car that is also pretty darn quick. Dace and Fuse rounding out our podium, two drivers that battled all the way to the end. Great teamwork from Dace and Lanzi throughout the race, I believe. Lanzi finished in 4th. He left the server immediately, as he does. Sui, Nogginator, Lightwork, Tin Man, Gunner, Gablin, Brian, Sharia, Fireballer, and then we have our non-finishers, Race Day, Deathstorm, Rhymer, and Cake. All right, the moment we've all been waiting for. We have 2 schedules to announce for MidWest this season. We have, of course, on our right here, our Season 14 schedule for MidWest F1. We will be starting on November the 7th. We will be going to Bahrain for the Democratic Elections Grand Prix. We have on the left here in Division 1 green here, all of these green marked races will be no line D1 races. This was something that as a stewards team, as a commissioners team, we came up together with. We drove at some of these tracks last season with no line, Singapore, the Zandvoort and Spa. We will continue to use no line on tracks that we have visited with no line before. We will be adding new tracks, such as on November 14th, we will be going to Silverstone for the Welsh Grand Prix, where we will also be using no line. The Aramco Oil Grand Prix of Jeddah will be on the 21st. We will have a gap between the 21st and our 4th round on December the 5th for the Catalonian Grand Prix, where we will be once again no line at Circuit Barcelona de Catalunya. We will be gambling our way through the streets of Las Vegas on December the 12th. On December the 19th, the Formula One Midwest Circus will be going to the Formula One MSC Cruises Grand Prix Premio del Made in Italia. You know what that race is. January 2nd, after an extended Christmas break, we'll be going to the Hungaroring for the Do Not Ask Us About the Roma People Grand Prix. On January the 9th, we will be once again no line racing at Weed Will Get You Killed in Singapore Grand Prix. On January 16th, we will be heading to Cruel and Unusual Punishment Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi. Once again, the Dutch East Indies Grand Prix will host a no-line race. Whaling Antarctica Grand Prix will bring us back to the beloved Suzuka Circuit on January the 20th. February the 6th, we'll see the Austro-Hungarian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring. No line that week as well. February the 13th, right before Valentine's Day, for those of you who do not have a date for Valentine's, you can sob your stories through state-sponsored slavery in Qatar. February the 20th, the Belgian, not a real country according to some people, Grand Prix will see us no line racing for the final time this season. And of course, we will be deforesting the Amazon to round out the season, where the season should rightfully be rounded out at Interlagos. On the flip side, of course, MidWest is going to be jumping back into iRacing Season 2 schedule here. We will be switching over from the Mazda Miata into the Dallara IR18 IndyCar. We will be starting the season coming up here next Monday at Oulton Park. We will be running the International without Britain's layout, skipping one of the chicanes there. November 4th, we will be going to the Daytona Road Course. November 11th, we will be going to the Daytona Super Speedway for a little bit of chaos there. November 18th, we will see the circus go to Road America. November 25th, it will head to Watkins Glen to take on Watkins Glen in the boot. On December the 2nd, the series will be going to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to kiss the bricks. December 9th, we will be heading overseas for 2 rounds in a row, heading over to Aschersleben for a German race, and then we'll be heading to Okayama International Circuit in Japan on the 16th of December. A little bit of a break for Christmas there. December the 30th, Charlotte Motor Speedway will be at the lights on the high banks at Charlotte. January the 6th, that date has no relevance to American history. We will be heading to VIR, a great racetrack in its own right. January 13th, we will see the circus head to Phoenix Raceway, the 2008 scan, with turn 1 being where turn 1 should be, turn 2, turn 3 being where they should be, and of course, there still being grass on the racetrack as God intended. January the 20th, that's Inauguration Day. We will also be racing at Sebring International Raceway, battling the bumps through Sunset Corner, and we will round it out as we have the last 2 seasons at Laguna Seca on January the 27th. These lobbies open at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday nights, and races begin at 9:40. If you have someone that's interested, send them my way. These are our schedules for the upcoming seasons in MidWest. Of course, if you have any questions about GT7, just head on over to Cake Thomas. He will be sure to point you in the right directions. He is always there to help, as well as all of the other things that are currently going on in MidWest, college football, not FIFA anymore, it's EAFC. Plenty to do, plenty to see in our community. I would love to thank you all for joining me tonight. We had a great time, had some great racing at China there, some great sprint racing at China there with the one-shot qualies, and we were able to get done in a reasonable time. We'll see if that format might make a return at some point in the future. We will see. Thank you very much, folks, for joining me. I had a wonderful time calling these races. We will see you again on iRacing on the 28th of October, and of course for Season 14 coming up in a couple of weeks here on November 7th in Bahrain. Have a good night.